Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about silk scrunchies. We're going to do a DIY tutorial on scrunchies, not just silk. We have knit here. I did one with like a cotton poplin. I have two sizes that I am going to show you. The large for like really thick hair, and then also small, or like if you have thinner hair. So the first one I'm going to show you is this one where you got the seam going down the middle here. So it's not the prettiest. This is my first one. So as I practice, I got a little bit better. So this is another one that I did the technique where I sewed it right there. And then the other tutorial that I'm going to show you is where you actually sew the seam right here on the side. But of course you can also do hand stitching if you want as well. For this scrunchie tutorial, I'm going to be using my serger and my sewing machine. Now, if you are making silk scrunchies, silk satin, it will fray on you really easily. So I do recommend to use your serger, or you can go through and finish off the edges with your sewing machine. But I also highly recommend pinking shears to help keep them from fraying. So if you are making a size large, you're gonna cut 4" by 38" of fabric and a 9" elastic. But what I do want to point out is also you can take the elastic, so this is my 9", put it around your wrist and see how it fits. And so that is going to allow you enough room for your seam allowance as well. And I do like the snugger fit though of the 9". And then here's the measurements for a size small, is you can cut it to like 6" of elastic. Okay. So once you've got your strips cut, you're going to fold the raw edges, and then you are going to just put it through your serger and just sew all the way down. And you can do a bunch of these at one time if you'd like. I'm trying to get a lot of them done because I kind of want to give them away for Mother's Day. I think it would be a really neat gift. So sorry about the footage here, it's just barely catching at the end. And just serge it all the way down to the very end, and also fold in that raw edge at the end as well. You'll see that coming up here. So you've got both the raw edges on both sides folded in, and just work your magic on turning it inside out. You can do that with a safety pin or even a tool like this. But now I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to grab the length of my elastic. So these tools are pretty cool if you know how to use them. And I'm just going to pull my elastic through. Let me get a clip here so it doesn't fall out the opposite end. And just pull that through. And now I'm just going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew up both ends of the elastic here, and just move the fabric out of the way. And now I'm just doing a couple of back spaces or back stitches here, and I did about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And now I'm just going to pull this and cover that up and just sew these together. But I'm tucking in one end into over the other end, and put that in place, and just put that in the sewing machine and do a couple of back stitches. Now keep in mind, this is the first one I did, so it is kind of messy, but this is the idea of it. So that one was pretty easy. I got a lot of threads going on right here, but how easy was that? So you can just batch up a whole bunch of them. Now this one isn't the prettiest one, but you can see when I am finished and I just kind of do that, you can't even really see where the end is. And then it just fits in my hair and it does a really good job. Now this second technique that I am showing you is going to be where the seam is actually going down the side. So what I did is actually measured in about a 1/2 inch, and that's where I'm going to start sewing. And then when I get to the opposite end, I'm also going to do the seam allowance about a 1/2 inch, like that. And then I'm going to put them together. Well, first I'm going to turn it inside out. Okay, so now I have the fabric going the right way, and I'm going to sew those opposite ends together. And you can do it with your serger or your sewing machine. If you're working with satin, I would recommend doing it through your serger. Right here, I'm just clipping it together so that the ends stay together. And I'm just going to put it through the serger. And now I just flip it out and I can close in the raw edges right here. And then we're going to slip the elastic in. So let me show you right here. This is a silk one, and I just sewed the raw edges and I serged them because satin will unravel really quickly. And so I also have some fray check that I like to use. I just use a safety pin, and this is my 1/4 inch width elastic. Make sure that you secure the opposite end as well so that you don't lose the elastic in your casing. Now, if you find this tutorial helpful, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribed if you haven't already, because I do post videos every Wednesday. Then we're just going to sew the elastic in place at the sewing machine. And I just use like 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And now I will just tuck the elastic in, and we're going to close up the raw edges so it'll fold and finish up nicely. And I just have the needle right there towards the edge. And don't forget to do a couple of back stitches. And this is how it looks. And then you're done. So pretty simple. So as you can see, I actually got a lot better at it, and I still can't decide, do I like it with the seam on the side or do I like it with the seam in the middle? And you can also hand stitch them if you want them to look a lot better, or if you're going to sell them, you're going to want to pay more attention on that. But these ones I just think are so cute, and it's super fast. Let me see, here's a satin one that here's a satin one that I actually sewed it down the middle as opposed to sewing it down the side. So I think that one looks really cute as well. I do hope that you enjoyed my scrunchie tutorial. Let me know if you make some as well. And until next time, happy sewing. Bye guys.